Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football mock draft. Today's mock draft is a 10-team SuperFlex PPR league from the first pick, as requested by my subscriber Joseph H. So thank you for subscribing and thank you for always commenting. So if you also would like to be a subscriber, go down below, click that subscribe button. It's free, and when you do that, it's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to win your fantasy championship. Because if you subscribe and watch all the videos, I'm going to help you dominate your draft, dominate during the regular season via all these trade talks, the waiver wires, the matchups, all of that. And then during the postseason, I'm going to help you dominate the playoffs. So this is the first pick in the 10-team Superflex PPR league. So let's get into the draft. So this is a pretty easy pick for me. I'm at the 1, so I'm just going to pick the best running back available because I'm the 1 pick, and you should not be picking Patrick Mahomes this early in a Superflex draft. So I'm just going to go with Mr. Saquon Barkley here, the best running back in fantasy. So after we went Saquon Barkley, Pat Mahomes went followed by Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott, Devontae Adams, Alvin Kamara, David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Le'Veon Bell, Julio Jones, Melvin Gordon, James Conner, Andrew Luck, Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Rodgers, Joe Mixon, Travis Kelce, Dalvin Cook, and now it is our pick. So 3 quarterbacks already off the board, and the first tight end off the board is Travis Kelce now. I've talked about this in the videos past, but if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'm going to talk about it again. Andrew Luck has this calf injury. Now, it came out today. Reports came out today, or today is 8/9 when I'm recording this. You're watching this on 8/10. And they said that he thinks he's going to play week 1. Now, I don't necessarily believe him because he said he was going to be good to go week 1 2 years ago when he didn't play a single fucking game. So, who knows about that situation? I'm kind of not drafting Andrew Luck that high at all. So, every other pick that's happened so far, pretty normal. Now, I think that going Melvin Gordon this early is definitely a reach due to the fact that he's holding out, and I'm very scared of that holdout. He could miss a total of 8 games. Ezekiel Elliott could miss a bunch of games too due to this holdout. Kind of scary. I'd much rather take the risk with Todd Gurley, who has an injury risk. He has that arthritis knee. I'd much rather draft him than Melvin Gordon right there because at least I know maybe he can somehow play 16 games or maybe get at least 10 games. Melvin Gordon may not even only play 8 games. So who knows? Now in these 2 quarterback leagues, I feel like you need to get a great quarterback, but I don't know if the third round is where I'd pull the trigger on it. So right here, we're just gonna go with either a wideout or a running back. In the superflex leagues, like I always say, the tight end is not as important. Travis Kelce not as important because you need to start 2 quarterbacks. So the tight end position is instantly lowered because of how much points the quarterback position is scoring. So this pick is very easy for me, and it is going to be Nick Chubb because Nick Chubb was already a great running back, but now they ship Duke Johnson. They say, get the hell out of here, go to the Texans, and Duke Johnson is now there. So it's now Nick Chubb's backfield. He's going to be a 3-down back, I believe, and I think he's going to absolutely dominate. Now, when Kareem Hunt comes back, maybe he'll see some regression, but I don't think it'll be that much regression to where he falls off being potentially an RB1, or maybe he'll go to an RB2. But even in that sense, he's a great second round pick here. He's going to dominate the first couple of weeks, and I think he's going to dominate all season. I love Nick Chubb here at the 210. After we went Nick Chubb, it is our pick again. So we are going to go wide receiver here and just wait on the quarterback position until the next round. So we're going to go with the best wide receiver available, and that is Juju Smith-Schuster of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Juju is bound to have a great year this season. He's going to be getting so many balls thrown his way. It's going to be crazy. He's going to probably get 11, 12 targets a game. He's the number 1 target on the team. He proved that he can do it. He's a great wide receiver, and he's going to try to prove that AB being there doesn't make the Steelers great. He knows that Juju knows that he can step up to the plate and really be a great wideout, and I think that he will end up being a great wideout who gets so many targets every single game, probably going to finish with a shit ton of yards, a bunch of touchdowns, and have a great season, probably his best season in his 3rd year in the NFL. I believe that this is his 3rd year, yep. So we're going to go with Juju here. After we select, I think Juju could be a top 5 wide receiver pretty easily. So after we went Juju, AB went followed by Damian Williams, Mike Evans, Todd Gurley, Deshaun Watson, Adam Thielen, Baker Mayfield, Leonard Fournette, George Kittle, Tyreek Hill, Marlon Mack, Matt Ryan, Zach Ertz, Carson Wentz, Devontae Freeman, Russell Wilson, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. So we may have wanted to pick a quarterback there at the 3-1 now looking at the board, but that's perfectly fine because it's a 10-team league, so it should be easier to find value. These 2 guys both went with double quarterbacks, which is a strategy I've seen a lot of people do. I don't necessarily love going quarterbacks this early back to back because the running back value won't be as good for you. But that's just my opinion. All three of the top three tight ends are gone, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks are already gone. Another pick to talk about here, AB at the 3-2. Reports are coming out today as I'm watching this. Maybe, or as I'm recording this, might be completely different for you. Tomorrow, he may just be fine. But he has this frostbite on his fucking foot. You don't know what's happening. The Raiders don't know what's happening. Very confusing. Damian Williams, who went the pick right after, reports have came out that he may not be the head honcho and that they're going to go with a committee, Andy Reid says. So, who knows what's going to happen there. I'm kind of avoiding Damian Williams now, where I typically liked him in the second round. Now, I don't know. I'm kind of fading his ass. Don't really want him too much. So, at this pick, I feel like I don't feel like we have to pull the trigger on quarterback right now, but I think we probably should get one guy who's at least a safe option, in my opinion. So, we are going to do that. Drew Brees, in my opinion, is the safest quarterback available right now. He doesn't get those rushing yards like a lot of quarterbacks that I tend to target, but this is a super flex league. So you need someone, in my opinion, who is a staple in your roster, who's safe, a super safe quarterback, a guy that's going to put up 20 points a game, a guy who's going to have those high touchdown probability in games. He could throw 3-4 touchdowns in some games. That's obviously possible. He's a guy who's probably going to be around 250 to 300 yards every single game, and he's a guy you can rely upon week in and week out, in my opinion, to be your quarterback one in a super flex league. So after we went Drew Brees, we're not going to go with the back-to-back quarterback strategy, and we're just going to hope that one of these guys like Kyler Murray or famous Jameis can fall to us here. So at the wide receiver position, T.Y. Hilton is the best one available. But if we're looking here at the running backs, Aaron Jones, who is still dealing with that injury, Kerryon Johnson still available. Those are two great running backs that I like there, even though Aaron Jones kind of dicey here. I think I would much rather just get a great running back here and go with Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon Johnson, I love Kerryon Johnson this season. Matt Patricia said that they're going to run the ball a lot with the hot hand. And you know who the hot hand is going to be? Kerryon Johnson. It's not going to be Mr. Fat CJ Anderson. And I believe that Kerryon Johnson is going to be able to have a great fantasy season this year. In my opinion, he may finish as a top 15 running back. I think he may even finish inside of the top 12, winky, winky, winky. But I really like Kerryon Johnson. This late is amazing value for Kerryon Johnson. And I just couldn't pass him up, even though I feel like getting another wide receiver here could be good. But having this great flex is going to help our team. So after we went Kerryon Johnson, Aaron Jones went followed by T.Y. Hilton, A.J. Green, Josh Jacobs, Phillip Lindsay, Cam Newton, Brandon Cooks, Julian Edelman, Derrick Henry, Jared Goff, Stephon Diggs, Kenny Galladay, Mark Ingram, Robert Woods, Big Ben Roethlisberger, Kyler Murray, Sony Michel, Jameis Winston. So now is our pick. So currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 quarterbacks already off the board. That means 4 teams already have 2 quarterbacks. That is pretty typical here in a 2 quarterback / superflex league. So, one pick I want to talk about here at the 5-4 was A.J. Green, Cincinnati wide receiver. I'm not targeting A.J. Green at all. He is going to probably be out potentially 3 games, maybe even higher. He may start the season off on the pup, so I am kind of worried about A.J. Green. So, I'm not drafting him in the 5th round. I'm not drafting him until double-digit rounds. I'm not probably going to draft him at all. So, looking here at the quarterback position, it's looking pretty dry out here. But it's not really that dry because I'm just going to go with a guy who I think is also going to finish as a top 10, top 12, maybe not top 10, but a top 12 quarterback, and that's Dak Prescott. He's done it every single year he's been in the league. He has rushed for 6 touchdowns every year he's been in the league. He's a very safe running back, in my opinion. A lot of guys hate on Dak. Now, he will have games where he's down and plays like shit. But on average, I think he's going to be a pretty great pick back here, and I would prefer Jameis because I think Jameis is going to be throwing the ball a lot more than Dak. But if Zeke is gone, they're going to give Pollard the ball, I think, but I'm not necessarily sure that he'll be able to get it done, Pollard. So I think Dak is going to end up being pretty good this year with or without Zeke. In my opinion, I think he'll actually be better if Zeke does come back. So we're going to go with Dak here. After we went Dak, Prescott, it is now our pick again. So we got our 2 quarterbacks, our Drew Brees and our Dak and our Superflex. So now we're going to go with one more wideout here. And we're going to get the best wideout available. Now, I would have liked to get this Jameis Winston, Chris Godwin stack, but it is not possible because the guy took famous Jameis right before I could. But that's okay because we are going to get Chris Godwin here. Chris Godwin is going to be very good this season. It was last season, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Adam Humphries were very good, all very usable. Preferably having Humphreys or Mike Evans would have been better because Chris Godwin was the 3. Now Chris Godwin is the 2 because Adam Humphreys got sent all the way to the Tennessee Titans with Mr. Mariota, Mr. Ryan Tannehill. So who knows who'll be the quarterback there? Probably Mariota, and then Tannehill will come in because Mariota is terrible. But with that being said, I think Chris Godwin's going to have a great year this year. He's going to be on offense a lot. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense sucks ass. They are going to be Their offense is going to be on the field a lot, trying to come back. Jameis is going to be slinging the ball. Jameis loves slinging the ball. He'll throw it to the ref. He'll throw it to the other team. He'll throw it to his team. He doesn't give a fuck. He loves slinging that ball. The Buccaneers last year, if you combined famous Jameis and Ryan Fitzpatrick, they would have thrown the most yards in the NFL. That tells you right there that they're going to be throwing the ball a lot, and I think Chris Godwin is a great pick here in the 7th round. So after we went Chris Godwin, Chris Carson came off the board, followed by Kiss and Titties, Mitchell Trubisky, David Montgomery, Kenyon Drake, not Kenyon Drake, Kenyon Drake, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley, James White, Phillip Rivers, Jimmy Guap, Tariq Cohen, Hunter Henry, O.J. Howard, D.J. Moore, Darius Geis, A.J. Brown, Evan Ingram, Lamar Jackson. So, in these drafts, I typically want to get a third. You need 3 quarterbacks in this and they all need to have different buys. Now, Breeze has 9. Dak has 8, so that's perfectly fine. And your third quarterback you're going to be going with needs to have a different buy because you need to be starting 2 quarterbacks every single week. You are at a huge disadvantage in a 2 quarterback or SuperFlex league if you don't have 2 starting quarterbacks every single week. Even in a 2 quarterback league, even more so. In a SuperFlex league, you can obviously start someone else. You can start a wide receiver. You can do whatever. But in my opinion, it is not going to be advantageous to not have a quarterback in that position at all times. So, it is our pick here. And we already have some solid running back depth, but I think we're going to add upon that right here. Now, this seems like kind of a reach, not much of a reach in my opinion. Now, I used to love I used to love Lamar Miller because of his safety. Now, with Duke Johnson coming to the team, I don't see him as safe of an option. I'd rather just go Duke later. I think Lamar Miller is going to have some pretty safe. He's going to still be kind of safe, but he's not as safe as he was before. He was a guy who is going to score you 10 points every game. Now, I don't even know how many touches he's going to get because I think a lot of people believe Duke Johnson's a 3-down back. I don't think so. He's going to be the pass catching back on the team, but I think he'll be more involved than a lot of people probably think, and I think that he'll eat into Lamar Miller enough to make him pretty useless in fantasy football here. So we're just going to go with the best running back available in my opinion, and that is Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny is not who I'd prefer to have on the Seahawks backfield. I prefer Chris Carson, the guy who was able to do it really well last year. Rashad Penny was not able to do it that well last year, but this year he's coming into his 2nd season. He's looking to really break out this year. He's looking to try to steal the job from Carson. If that's possible, he's going to be well worth this pick here. Even if he doesn't, he's still going to be getting probably like 10 touches a game potentially because the Seahawks are such a run-heavy team. So I like Penny here in the back, and I believe reports came out that Penny was working on his pass catching, so that's even better for Penny. So at the tight end position, there has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tight ends picked. So like I said, these tight ends are not as popular in these kind of leagues because you don't really need a great tight end in order to win in these 2 quarterback / superflex leagues. So we are going to go with the tight end here because I want to get a guy like that's top 7, top 8 that I don't have to necessarily worry about cutting, adding a new guy, necessarily having to shit myself riding some Delaney Walker one week when he needs a walker himself because that motherfucker is so old. So we're going to go with the best tight end available, and that is Jared Cook. A lot of people are riding the Eric Ebron train, the choo-choo motherfucker. We're all up on this Eric Ebron train. We are off Eric Ebron. Now with Jack Doyle coming back, the better pass blocking tight end, I believe that Jack Doyle is going to be on the field more than Ebron. Ebron had a great season last year because Jack Doyle wasn't there, but with Jack Doyle coming back, he's obviously going to steal some touchdowns from Ebron, and he's not going to be as good as a lot of people believe he will be. So for that reason, we're just going to go with Jared Cook here. In my opinion, he's going to be great. We already have Breeze, so we're getting a stack. The Breeze Eric Ebron stack, not the Breeze Eric Ebron stack, the Breeze Jared Cook stack. Breeze used to target his tight ends heavily when he had Jimmy Graham. They were a great combo, and then he had a bunch of mediocre guys. Now he's getting a guy that's a top tight end in the league, a top 10 tight end in the league, a guy who's way better than anyone he's had on his team in a while, besides Jimmy Graham, and Jared Cook's going to be pretty good this year. After we went Jared Cook, Tyler Lockett came off the board, followed by Fat Sammy Watkins, Jarvis Landry, Mike Williams, Eric Ebron, Tevin Coleman, Tyler Boyd, Tom Brady. Did they fix it? No, they have not fixed it. Tom Brady, Kareem Hunt, Robbie Anderson, Latavius Murray, Allen Robinson, Lamar Miller, Christian Kirk, Vance McDonald, Will Fuller, Miles Sanders, Darrell Henderson. So, what I was talking about how they didn't fix it is no one typically drafts 3 quarterbacks. So, if I'm being realistic, I would probably say you'd have to pick your third quarterback around the 10th or 11th round if people start picking them. So, I'm just going to do that now because I think that no one may end up picking a backup quarterback for the third string guy. And I think you do end up needing a third string quarterback because you want to have 2 quarterbacks in at all times. So we're going to go Josh Allen. His buy is different than Breeze's and Dak, like I said. And Josh Allen is going to have a lot of games where you can just start him instead of Dak or start him instead of Breeze because he has such high upside in those games. His first 3 games, super easy. Should be able to tear it up those games. I may start him instead of Dak in those type of games. Now, he's going to be a guy who's riding the pine, so you're not necessarily going to rely on him week in and week out. And he has so much upside that I think that that's a great pick for your third quarterback, not some safe motherfucker like Kirk Cousins. So now it's our pick yet again, and we are going to just build upon this running back depth unless there's a solid wideout here, and there really is a solid wideout here that I love targeting. And that's Dante Pettis. A lot of fantasy channels, a lot of fantasy articles, a lot of fantasy experts all talk up Dante Pettis, and it's for a good reason. Pettis played pretty good last year in the games he was playing with Nick Mullins, played pretty good with Jimmy Garoppolo, but most of his games were with Mullins. Now this year, he's looking for a full season with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to be the #1 target on the team. I don't really believe in Debo Samuels. I don't really necessarily believe in Marquise Goodwin being that great. So I think it's going to be the Dante Pettis, George Kittle show, and they're going to absolutely eat this year, and I love Dante Pettis here in the 11th here. So after we went Dante Pettis, Sterling Shepard, Mr. Injury. Well, he's not actually Mr. Injury. He just got hurt, but he's hurt, so I'm not drafting him. David Njoku, Jordan Howard, Royce Freeman, Chicago Bears defense. Don't draft a defense that early. N'Keal Harry, Ronald Jones, DK Metcalf, LaShawn McCoy, Corey Davis, LA Rams, Larry Fitz, Cortland Sutton, D.D. Westbrook, Austin Hooper, Marvin Jones, Dante Foreman, Jalen Samuels. So now we're just going to go with a running back who has a decent amount of value here, and that is Mr. Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler. Now, I do like drafting Justin Jackson, but Ekeler has value whether Melvin Gordon's there or not. He may be slightly better, obviously, when Melvin Gordon's not there, but he's still the pass catching back on the Chargers who you can definitely play in some matchups, and I like him to add to my running back depth here. And then we're going to go with one more running back here, and then go with another wide receiver in our last pick. So the best running back, in my opinion, available right now is Duke Johnson. Like I said, a lot of people believe he's going to be a 3-down back. If he turns into that 3-down back on Houston, he overtakes Lamar Miller, then he's going to be fucking well worth this 13th round pick. Even if he's just the pass catching back on the team, I think he's going to be well worth this pick here. And I like Duke Johnson this late in the draft. I think his ADP is going to rise heavily in the next coming weeks right before the real draft season starts. Now, I have a draft just tomorrow as you're watching this. It's today when you're watching this. So wish me luck, but yeah, a lot of drafts happen more towards the end of August. Ours is earlier because we're all in college, and a lot of people go away, and we like to do it in person. So after Duke Johnson went, Golden Tate went, followed by Minnesota Vikings, Andy Dalton, Jaws, Emmanuel Sanders, Jags defense, Carlos Hyde, AP, MVS, Geronimo Austin, James Washington, Los Angeles Chargers, Kiki Cootie, Ito Smith, Justin Tucker, Devin Singletary, Deshaun Jackson, TJ Hawkinson. Now, let me tell you something. Can't draft Kiki Cootie because Kiki Cootie got hurt 2 days ago. I think when you're watching this, he got hurt in the preseason game. His fucking leg got bent in the shape of an L, and he just took an L if you drafted him already because he's probably gonna be out for the rest of the season. Now, we've made it all the way to the 14th round. You've made it all the way here. You are having a great day because you're watching this video, and I know you are. So if you have enjoyed the video thus far, please go down below and click that like button. So the last pick we're going to make with our real player is Curtis Samuel. I love Curtis Samuel this late. You've seen the tweet that I put out. That I retweeted actually. He and DJ Moore put up very similar numbers towards the end of the season, and Curtis Samuel even had better numbers than DJ Moore. His ADOT was higher. He was getting more yards. And I think that Curtis Samuel is going to end up with comparable stats to DJ Moore. And DJ Moore goes so many rounds before Curtis Samuel. So if Cam Newton's able to stay healthy, Curtis Samuel is going to be a great pick here. So after we went Curtis Samuel, now it's time to pick a defense. The way you're going to pick a defense is you're going to go on Google. You're going to type in NFL schedule week 1. And you're going to look at a defense that is playing against a shitty offense and just pick that defense. It's that easy. Then week 2, you know what you do? You swap them out if they're playing a hard week 2 matchup. Now the Cowboys, the defense that I like, has two great, or has the Cowboys defense has two great matchups back to back. The Giants and some other team. I'm not sure who it is. It doesn't even tell me, but it's fine because we're gonna go with the Cowboys here. After the Cowboys, Bucker went followed by Greg Zerline, Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints, Will Lutz, Stefan Diggs, Stephen Gostowski, not Stefan Diggs, Adam Vinatieri, Kyle Forbairn, Denver Broncos, Mason Crosby, Damian Harris, Kyle Rudolph, Greg Olson, Peyton Barber, Mecole Hardman, Jake Elliott, Devin Funchess, Cleveland Browns, and now it is our last pick, so we're going to go with the kicker here and just go with the best one available, which is Giorgio Trevecchia. The website fucked up, so we're just going to go with him like this. Boom. Oh, we went with Robbie Gould instead of, it doesn't matter, it's a kicker. So, our finishing lineup is Drew Brees, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chris Godwin, Jared Cook, Kerryon Johnson, Dak Prescott is our starting lineup with Robbie Gould and Dallas Cowboys defense. And then our bench is comprised of Rashad Penny, Josh Allen, Dante Pettis, Austin Eckler, Duke Johnson, and Curtis Samuel. So thank you guys all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click that subscribe button down below because every single video is pretty much just like this. I'm going to be giving you all types of breakdowns, all of that. And you're going to be getting so much content during the season that's going to be worth clicking that subscribe button. So thank you guys all for watching. Have a great goddamn day. I love you all. Goodbye, guys.